Hey guys, it's Tye Angland here, a part of the miEverest panel. Tonight I'm joined with the big bad Hugh Bowman. Thanks for joining me, Hughie.
Tye, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
All right, first question. I've got a couple for you, and after that you can throw one at me, but it's probably an obvious one, so I'll let you name two horses. What's the best horse you've ridden, and why is that?
Winx, for obvious reasons.
Yep.
And if we go she speaks for herself. I don't think she needs any introduction. But if we set her aside, that's a good question. I think there's a couple that sort of run equally second. So you think for one, who I only in fact rode twice in his first start and his third start. So I didn't win a Group 1 on him, but I did win on him. And he was a Group 1 winner in dual hemispheres. Reliable Man, who won me my first Queen Elizabeth for Chris Waller. He was a French horse. He won the French Derby. So he also won Group 1's dual hemisphere. And Samantha Miss, I think she was a horse that would have really reached, she ran third in the Cox Plate as a 3-year-old filly. I think if she didn't succumb to injury, she would have had a huge career ahead of her as a 4 and 5-year-old.
Yeah. Many highs and lows on the race course. Can you name us a high and a low?
Look, there's many. I've had many highs and many lows. I think, obviously, you never like to fall, but putting that aside, I think sometimes you go to the races with huge expectations. And I think if I go back to when Racing to Win, I rode him in the Golden Rose, and I was never as confident going into a race as I was that day on him, and controlled the race, sat outside the leader, kicked clear, and Darren Beedman on paratroopers, even though I thought I had him under lock and key, was able to get out and beat me. I think that was a real turning point. It made me understand that you had to accept defeat, because it took me a while to get over it, because I was so confident. I just felt like I had the race in the bag. So that was a low at the time, but turned out to be a positive, because it taught me to learn to be defeated. But highs, Winx, Japan Cup, Hong Kong Derby. Yeah, I've had a wonderful 7 or 8 years. So it's hard to put them in. It's hard to name one, but being Winx's jockey is definitely the highlight of my career.
Yeah, absolutely. What's it like Everest Day? Rocking up the races, going in the room, riding for a $15 million race. What's that sort of feeling?
You know what, Tye? I've ridden in top races all over the world, and there's nothing quite like riding in the Everest, Melbourne Cup included. I mean, the Melbourne Cup has the Australian history, and I haven't managed to win it, but I've been able to run well in the race on a couple of different horses, and the build up to that's amazing. But the Everest is the new kid on the block. The amount of energy and expectation and anticipation on the day of the Everest is just extraordinary. And what I've noticed the most is the youngsters get there and they pay attention to the races. It's not just a big party. They're there for the races. It's full on. It's all built up to the Everest, and then they hang around. They stay till after the last for the band. It's new age racing, and I think it's certainly got its spot here in Australia. It stamped itself after the first year when it was questionable to a lot of people, myself included. And I think we've got a big race here we've got a world-class race here in Sydney for the rest of our lives.
We're a few months off, but what sort of horse would you be looking at right now to try and get on to win the race?
It is early days. I mean, if I could have my choice right now, I'd ride Farnan, who obviously I won the Golden Slipper on earlier in the year. But he'll be a 3-year-old colt, as was Yes, last year's winner. He'll be too light for me, so I will not be able to ride him. But, if I could ride any horse, he'd be my early pick for sure.
Yeah, beautiful.
Or Nature Strip, but he's not my horse, so I'd rather go with Farnan.
Like, what do you look at as a horse that you want to ride in that sort of race?
You need a horse with sustained speed, and you need a horse that can cope with pressure. And you saw Red Zell the first 2 years. He sort of controlled it the first year, but he's able to sit up on the pace and sustain, or be able to cope with that sustained pressure. And you need a genuine sprinter. It's no good going in with a horse that might have performed well over a short course that really is best over 7 furlongs or a mile. They won't cut it in the Everest.
Beautiful. All right. Well, thanks for that, Hughie, and your time to fire one at me.
Well, I thought you asking me which horse I'd like to ride in the Everest. I was wondering you. What have you got for the picked out as the top contenders? Let's say the top 3 contenders at this early stage.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Obviously, Nature Strip's a standout at the moment, and he's been there, he's done it. But I'm sort of looking at horses that are up and coming, like you say, your Slipper winner. These 2-year-olds going on to 3-year-olds, we really don't know what's going to change. But even Joe O'Neill's horse, that Pat Payne's horse, Basika.
Yes,
I think it's a
little bit under the radar. So,
I would love to see it jump up in the Everest and be competitive anyway. So, even Joe's been a big supporter of mine, and it would be good to see him win a big race because he's going well.
And so, can I carry on with that? Do you think we'll see any overseas runners here? I guess it's impossible to answer, but do you think we'll see any overseas horses this year?
I think COVID sort of put a bit of hold on that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They haven't really stepped it up the last couple of years. So time will tell.
Sure.
Thanks for joining me, Hughie.
You're welcome. She's apples.
Great.
See you, Tye.
Cheers, buddy. Legend. Thanks for that.
My pleasure, mate. Anytime.
All the best tomorrow.
Thanks. See ya.
See you, bud.